What's up guys, Fantarot here to talk about Shokugeki no Soma chapter 175. Okay, this was a very Erina centered chapter, but before we get into that, I want to talk about how in the beginning every other important character passed the test like nothing. They all encountered underhanded tactics, but they passed. And I really hope that's not the case as this arc continues. I want something a little more clever than just underhanded tactics, which you guys know. And I think it'd be really bullshit if everyone passes this arc without anyone going home. That better not happen. I'll be really mad if that's the case. Okay, now we get to Erina. So Yuki and the team passes, and then Yuki tries to get all excited. She's like, "Oh, Erina, we like pass," and so, and she gets like, "What are you doing? Don't get all like." Relax, this is just the beginning. And you see like the silhouette of her old teacher self going like with the whip, and Yuki's like all afraid. He's like, "Yes, senpai." And I'm like, I actually like the relationship between Erina and Yuki. Yuki treats her like a normal like person, like, you know, she doesn't like talk to her like a sama or something like that, but when she gets serious, she respects her because of the teaching methods that Erina gave the Polar Star students. And I think it's really funny and cute, and I love how they're still keeping Erina in character, the tough girl, the strong girl. And she's like, she kind of gets mad at them. You're like, "Oh, you guys barely passed the first test. How can you do that? You guys better like step it up for the next one. This is just the beginning." And then Yuki acts all cool. "Hey, you want some of this food?" And she's like, "Shut the fuck up." And I'm like, oh god, it's just funny seeing her interact with the Polar Star students. Really love that. It's really like hilarious. Now, what was a bit of a twist for me was that there wasn't another test after that. If you notice in the camp and the first season of Shokugeki no Soma, it was like test after test. You'd have to take a test just to deserve to go to sleep, just to deserve to have dinner. Otherwise, you'd be sent home for suspension. But here, it's right after the first test. They have dinner prepared for them, and then they go on this fancy-ass train. Like, wow. Like, man, we're talking like money, billionaire type train. You got beds, fancy shit, and everything. And like, they didn't have that in the first hotel. Well, like, yeah, they had nice beds, but you had to cook your own dinner, and it seemed like it's more of a straight out of hell camp. Here, it seems like, oh, you have a big test, and you get to relax. Then you get to relax because they're going on train. It's on a train, and they're traveling to the next station, which I really thought was cool, man. This train looks really nice. I'm like, okay, they're giving them some rest. A little different from the first season. But we actually get we get to see just how much money this school really has and how they're drowned in it. And then the rest of this chapter, it was really funny because we get one of the Aldini twins. He comes up, Erina's doing her work, and then like he offers to go see like, oh, the stars, or like, oh, they really look nice, you should come and see it. And she's like, oh, okay, maybe. At first I thought it looked like he was hating her. I'm like, wait, what's going on? But then every other student they come after, they're offering Erina something to go for her to go relax. They're giving her something to go enjoy the train. And she's like, oh, maybe later I'm all working here. And she's like, why is everyone coming over here offering favors and telling me to go do something else? You know, what's going on? And then you get Megumi coming in with tea, and she's like, oh, here's some hot tea. She's like, oh, thank you. She's like, what's going on? Why is everyone showing up? And then Yukihira shows up. He's like, hey, you want some of this food? And it's like, you too? Why are you showing up? He's like, what are you talking about? And then she explains to him like, oh, man, everyone's like doing this thing where like they're trying to offer me to go and enjoy this train, and even Megumi left this tea for me. And then Soma mentions that, oh, they feel bad that she's working so hard and that she might be more worried about their group than herself. So they want to show her gratitude. And when I thought, and it was a really touching part of the chapter where they tell her, oh, we're really thankful for all the things you're doing for us, all this teaching. Without you, we'd probably be lost right now. And she like starts blushing. She's like, I'm not doing it for the thanks. I'm just doing it for what's right. And I'm like, oh man, that was just a really touching moment, part of this chapter. How Erina is they're giving gratitude to Erina, and which she deserves, because she's working her ass off to get these people through it. Now, me being I ship Soma and Erina, because like as far as girls go, Erina is my favorite, then Megumi, then Alice, then Yuki, and Soma's one of my favorite characters for as far as guys go. But I really do ship these two. If it weren't for them, it'd be Megumi and Soma. But the interaction that they have, it's pretty obvious that Erina is the closest to Soma out of the Polar Star dorm. Even though in the past it looked like she kind of hated his, like kind of couldn't stand him, but like we always knew it was just a surface that she covered up, that it was a shell. But we all know it's broken now, and she acts natural around Soma, and she's actually laughing at his jokes. And she goes, "Oh, you're so silly," and stuff like that. I'm like, is this flirting? Are they flirting with each other? Then we get this scene where they go past the trees, and you see so many stars, and they look at it, and then Soma makes his jokes and stuff, and she laughs at it. It's just a really touching and cute moment. And I'm like, and I was going all fantard mode. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yes, yes, yes!" It was just really, really nice and cute. I was like, I ate it all up. And Erina mentions that, oh, like, what's going on with me? I feel like pleasant. I don't feel displeasure with Soma around me, where I thought him being the son of Saiba would ruin a fancy moment that I had in the past, but it didn't. And it's really good. Like, we get more character development for Erina, which I'm really glad. It doesn't feel forced. It's natural. The way that she's developing as a character throughout this arc and series, little by little, because even like a couple arcs ago, Erina was fine with Yukihira, but it was always just a little rivalry and then like teasing at each other. They were always still friends, in my opinion, you know. But Yukihira, being the little brat that he is, knows how to push her buttons, and she would just react naturally. But when it came down to business or them acting rude on each other, it was always just like a friendly laughter thing. But now they're actually opening up more to each other, and I'm eating it up. I love it. If I went like fantard rating, just because I'm a huge Erina fan, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 5 stars. But I don't think it is a 5 out of 5 chapter. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It was a good character interaction. I'm still a little like struggling with Central. I don't really like him as a villain because they look so cliche. Not just the one, but even the fodder villains. They have like these sunglasses agents. I'm like, I guess it's meant to be a little over the top. Maybe that's the case here, so it could look kind of funny and like kind of ridiculous. But I'm not so sure if they're a real threat. I really hope they prove me wrong throughout this arc. I mean, the only one who I feel like is a real threat is maybe Azami and his methods, but I don't feel like his methods and his way of taking out the rebels is like kind of transferring too well to his underlings. Like these underhand tactics, I mean, like, you guys, anyone who watched my other videos on Shokugeki no Soma know how I feel about Central. So hopefully they change up a little. I just care about the character interactions. I really love that right now, but hopefully Central changes my mind. That's it, guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Fantart out.